Trust what you're feeling. Let down your guard. Oh.
So open, like super open voice. So this is a sound that doesn't get a lot of appreciation and love nowadays. But this is retracted false folds, unbelievably relaxed torso, and her intercostal muscles are engaged. Like everything she can do to get that open sound, she's doing. You don't hear a lot of this anymore.
Oh, don't miss the moment.
And then she raises her larynx.
Yeah. See what matters, breathing air, being close, you right here.
Oh, man, immediately, like 3 different sounds. This is cool. So I bring up whenever I try to teach people about the aeroglottic sphincter, immediately they run away from it. Right, by itself, it doesn't sound great. Rounds it out.
Why don't you let love rule? Let love rule. Let love rule. Love rule. Let love rule. Let love rule. Let love rule. Let love rule. Hey. Y'all better play. Woo!
Real quick, I love how sparse the arrangement is. You know, you have a guitar, you have someone on the, I forget what that box is called, for the drumming, and then you have a backup singer, and that's it. And it sounds like this mix sounds still really full, because her voice is big. She's got a big sound. Like, and I'm not talking like unpleasant and bam, it's just like lush. It's really big.
Boy, you leave me breathless before we touch.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know y'all don't like when I pause too much, but hold on here. This is just nutty. So, like, she's got like this palette of colors that she's just working with right now. On Breathless, she chooses to make a breathy tone, right?
Oh, play. Woo! Boy, you leave me breathless.
Right? First of all, kudos on the band for dropping out there. Second, like, I've been trying to drill this into students. There's no such thing as a right or wrong sound. There's cause and effect. There's a place for everything, right? If it's a sound and it's a distinct sound, there's a place for it. So, do you want to sing with breathiness all the time? No, but is there a place for it? Absolutely.
Oh, let's make a moment.
She's using this, like, her technique is actually in a lot of ways like reminiscent of opera singing. It's just everything is just so open. And what she's doing that's different than opera is she's also using belt. Like proper belt technique to get that straight tone power. This woman knows how to use everything in her body. It's incredible.
See what matters, breathing air, being close.
So again, sorry to pause it again, but like, so I said false folds are open, right? How everything's open. She goes up and then kind of contracts her false folds a little bit to get the sound.
The moment.
I'll point it out and happen.
See what matters.
That's contracting your false folds for a little bit of distortion in the voice.
Breathing air.
Then immediately she opens it on the next note. I mean, that's control.
What we did, just let love in.
Oh man. Okay, so a lot of that's belt tilt, and this is why every singer should learn both. I know how to belt. I don't know how to intentionally belt. I need to work on that, right? I need to identify and isolate the muscles. But like, listen to this, and then her tail end, she'll use a classical tilt.
What we did, just let love in.
There. Right? So like, this woman has every seasoning in the shelf, right? She has every seasoning in that cabinet of hers. And there's a lot more here than salt and pepper, you know?
On and on and on and on.
Nice. I love a good scat. That's so musical, right?
Our love goes on and on and on and
That's really cool. Okay. So there's something in counterpoint called contrary motion. And it's the preferred motion when you're dealing with two notes. And you want to make easy peasy harmony and have a low risk of it going wrong, you go the opposite direction. So if this backup singer is descending, you can go up, and chances are you'll land on all the right notes. Obviously, she's a little bit more deliberate than taking a chance here. She's going like up by arpeggio. Do-do-dat, do-do-dat. She's outlining a chord with her voice.
On and on, on and on and on. You gotta do, on.
Right? That's so cool. That's a whole lot of everything. That straight up reminds me of classical singing. This woman can do everything. What? And this is why Ivory Tower, like classical singing purists, need to like stop. Because this woman can not only do classical way better than probably any of them. Like this woman's tone is wonderful no matter what she's doing, and if she sang pure classical, she would be amazing at it. Oh man. So again, remember what I said, there's no such thing as a wrong sound, there's cause and effect. So look at the shape of her mouth. Look at what she does for her jaw at the end, right? Just she's literally like having fun making sound. Like, come on, that's what we should all be doing. We should be having fun making sound.
Thank you. You're so nice. This next song is from my last album.
This is like, oh man, I pointed this out in the Ari Lennox video. The amount of comfort that you need to have on stage is pretty tremendous, right? You want to have experience giving entertainment to the audience even when you're not singing. So if taking improv courses helps a lot, but really also just like doing it a lot helps, right? So she's incredibly comfortable, she's incredibly funny and charismatic when she's not singing, and that's also really important.
When they look at me, what they really see.
So much going on. Okay. So she's speech level, so the false folds are at neutral, and she has like she's taking shallow breaths to get that more speech-like sound.
I can no longer hide.
She tilts and then tilts more to crescendo on the note. She tilts a part of her larynx.
Oh yeah!
Oh man, that's really great. So they're both using AS. They're both using incredibly bright vowels. To me, that's almost like in the 80s when guitar players and like metal guitar players would play the same note together. It's like super satisfying. It's super satisfying here too. It's a lot of brassiness, a lot of bright sound, and then when you get that in unison together, it sounds extra juicy and powerful. Ooh, good low. I also want to point out her rhythm is on point. It's really nice. Oh, I love it. I love scatting so much. I love it. It's a guilty pleasure. Oh boy, I love it. Her voice is stunning. Her natural tone, like the color of her voice, is beautiful. She's just got a beautiful instrument. Okay, this is for my students right here, this one. Look at her tongue. Okay, everyone who I've taught is going to know I do this ad nauseum. Tongue forward, tongue wide, and choose to make different tones and colors while keeping your tongue forward and wide. And on all vowels, the tongue should be forward and wide. Even though some vowels, it'll go back a little bit. Watch how she does this with her tongue. You can literally see on the E, it goes back up, and then in the I, it goes back a little bit, but like look how still forward it is, right? And that's how you can get that level of control. You need that. You want this level of control. the two of them together, the backup singer and her, like in sync. It's nuts, right? Just listen to it again. Like it just goes right with her, and then when she stops, she starts. Just the level of freedom and expressiveness. I mean, the body is the instrument, and you've never seen it better than you have right here. Like, she's just everything. I'm so envious of her relaxed posture. Like, that whole thing is so expressive, and it's like she's really trained the whole body. I love this stuff. Okay, jazz legend, like I see I forget his name. Oh my god, everyone in the comments is gonna grill me here. I see skies of blue, right? Like she's thrown that in there because this woman has every option. She has every lever on her voice. She's just got it going on. Right? That's a throwback. Ah, so good. Woo! I love scatting. Like it gets me a little right. Like I love it so much, and this woman is incredible at it. So when scatting, like I think a lot of us get used to like thinking of vowels and consonants. Right? Like we think of consonants, we think of vowels to get those different sounds. But she's because she's so control over things like her false holds, what she'll do is she'll do the squeak, like which when we do squeak, it's supposed to mimic an instrument, right? That's the whole point of scatting. When we do squeak, it's like a trumpet, right? But sometimes trumpets go like I'm gonna get a note that's not gonna kill me. Squeak, squeak, right? Like trumpets can have that like little distortion, like right? So she can do that like crazy, and it's like not hard at all for her. And then she can do it way higher than that. And then when she wants to, and she's in her low, she goes, see sky. You know, she's just got all of these tools, all of these options, and she uses every single one of them. I mean, and her sense of rhythm, because that's important when we're scatting, right? We have consonants when we're scatting, unlike like traditional vocal runs, where we're usually just on one vowel. When we scat, we have to make use of the consonants, right? And so she's able to do that in a really particular way because of how good her sense of rhythm is. Like I know, you know, Jasmine. I think Jasmine Sullivan was up for a Grammy, and so was Chloe and Halle. But like, I don't think anyone can be upset that this woman won a Grammy, especially because she's been in it for much longer, I think, than either of those two. Correct me if I'm wrong. And she's clearly really good, right? Like this woman is a phenomenal singer. It took a lot, now you got my attention. Here we go back with rhythm, right? Every singer needs to practice their rhythm, and it just doesn't happen often enough. Watch how she comes in and adds. So she doesn't just like, she's not just on the beat, right? That's the first part of being in rhythm, right? It's emphasizing notes to where it rhythmically makes sense. Listen to what gets louder versus what gets softer, and when that happens. What you're offering me, yeah, all of that can go. It's you I want. It's deeper than material things. This right here, where her sense is so good. On the offbeats, she's adding something, right? When my finger goes up, that's the upbeat, right? When we tap our foot on something, that's downbeat, and when it goes up, it's the offbeat, or in the upbeat rather. And she's playing with emphasis on all of this stuff, and it's like perfectly in time. Give me stimulation. What's your motivation? How you gonna add to me? Yeah. Right? When you put emphasis on the upbeat, you're bringing momentum, right? It's like intentionally throwing things off balance. If you just give everything on the downbeat and everything emphasis on the downbeat, you're like plodding along and you're in marching time, right? 4/4 is a marching time signature, and if you're following the beat, you're marching. When you're on the upbeat and you give upbeat, you move the music forward, And it's just an incredible sign of her musicianship, and the fact that her and her backup singer and her band are all doing it, 4 people incredibly in sync with one another. Let's listen to that again. Try to, again, if you're a student, tap, tap, tap. Try to get the sense of rhythm and watch what happens when your finger's up versus when it's down and what she's doing.
You gon' add to me, yeah, how you gon' add to me, yeah. So what you gon' do? Now you.
This is a masterclass in musicianship. And this is the importance of recording yourself and making sure that there's instruments in the background. And heck, I mean, start beatboxing, start rapping, start making a cappella tracks. Do everything you can to train your musicianship, because the whole point of this is to make music. The whole point we learn to use all of this to sing is not to be impressive. It's not to sound good. It's to make music, right? And like when you're good enough, like these subtle things make everything happen.
Innovation, how you gon' add to me? Yeah, how you gon' add to me? Yeah.
So the add to me is on an important downbeat, and so they give that volume there. And what I love here too is, I think as singers we fall in love with everything legato, which is legato is like, how you gonna add to me, right? Like it's smooth, right? We don't put beats down. We try to ignore the beats and try to flow over the beats and try to make it as smooth as possible. And what's nice about like classical music, that's pretty much, well, that's not true. There's some music where the beat matters in classical music, but if we fall in love with one element of music, we get dry and stale really fast, right? So what she's doing is the rhythm's really tight and really on sync, but then she'll also take that vowel and do what singers can do so well, almost better than pretty much any other instrument, maybe except for string instruments. And she just glides over everything. And it's that contrast between the two that prevents the music from becoming boring.
Add to me, yeah, how you gon' add to me? Yeah, I need some relation, good conversation.
I want to also point out, so, and this is something I encourage everyone to go watch. There's footage of the original recording of The Little Mermaid. I've been watching that for research on a Halle video. And there's this footage of Jodie Benson working with the director. And the director keeps trying to rein her in, because I think as singers we love to go woof, like just let it all out and get all that. It feels so good when we know how to sing freely and we just it's like it feels awesome. But one of the things that we have to remember is that the words are just as powerful, if not more so. And what she's doing here is she's bringing it, like, obviously this woman, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing her name, I probably am, Ledisi. What she's doing so well is she can do this power-free open sound better than pretty much like 99.99999% of people. But then even though she can do that, and even though she's really good at it, she doesn't disrespect opportunities to make the words the priority. And so she'll go into speech level singing like that.
How you gon' add to me? Yeah.
Nice. Props to that drummer for like 2 of the sickest shaker notes of the set so far. It's when she cues him, like he just does a little something, you know what I mean? Like this band works together really well, and it's subtle, and maybe like y'all don't care, but I just think it's incredibly cool, these little details.
What can you add to me? What can you add to me?
And that's what I'm talking about with the speech level, right? Like she's just calmly saying it. Not every line can be big and dramatic, because then nothing is big and dramatic, right? Like everything has to have contrast and a point, and you have to be specific with your decision making. And the only way to really do that is to try and make a lot of decisions and experiment a bunch, musically, and what you're trying to say. And she's on a whole nother level of comfort with that. It's really incredible.
Label was afraid. Everyone was afraid. They're so new. You have that trap beat underneath, but I'm like, it's R&B.
It's hard to have a label. And the good news is now, like, this woman's been in the industry for a long time, but nothing has changed in terms of raw business. No industry has changed faster even in the last decade than the music industry, right? If you were alive for Napster, then and if you weren't, Spotify. Like, having a label, you don't need to have it anymore. You can be an independent artist. It's easier than ever. You just need to learn your own marketing and business chops. So yeah, that's for people who want to make a career out of it. Make sure that when you join a label, you have leverage. I just want to point out, in music, it comes up all the time, like the na-na-nas, the yes, the uhs. Do something with them when they come up. Like if you got like a na 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 na, right? Like if you have lyrics that are like that, do something with it, because like listen to her literally just make sound with her face hole, and how musical everything is. Listen to this, right? Crescendo to a glottal stop, which means she just closes her fold to end the thing, right? She just ends the note. And then that glottal, even the ending of the note is on beat.
Where the sun shines all the time, good loving in my soul's what I crave. I ain't worried about the head. Last year,
like yes, like this is so expressive.
this damn whole politics they kill me. Yep, but your love can heal me, 'cause your love feel good when I'm down. You can bring me.
Like she's just this, like the phrasing is so dynamic. What she's doing is incredibly dynamic. Like nothing's the same, right? Like everything gets its own special moment. It's called specificity. She's being specific, right? When we have lines of music, like I was working on doing a cover of Nick Jonas's "This Is Heaven," and I realized like I was singing, I was being boring. I wasn't being specific. And so I went through the lyrics and I started making choices. Like I was like, what is happening here? Why am I saying this? What is going on? Right? And she's just doing that. I mean, obviously she wrote the music, so she knows better than pretty much anybody what is going on in this song, but she's still giving incredibly bold choices, and it's here, it's there, it's incredibly specific. Nice. She's just amazing at literally everything, isn't she? It's like this is when you listen to someone, you're like, I have some work to do. You know what I mean? Man. All right, I'm gonna go practice because damn.